What's going on, fellow growers? Andrew from Tail Wagging Farms. Today, I need to add a box on the beehive. So come on along with me and as I do a hive inspection and add another brood box. So it's a pretty hot day here in North Carolina, so before I go out to the hives and get my suit on and all that, I'm gonna get the smoker lit here in the shade where it feels a little nicer. Smoker's lit. Time to head up and put on my suit and get to inspecting some bees. All right, I finished suiting up here. Time for me to begin the inspection. First things first, I'm gonna put down a little bit of smoke by the entrance. Not too much, just get a little smoke in the air. Get my tools out. Got our two different types of hive tools. I like the J1 personally. So now, just gonna crack the cover, put a little smoke in there around the top cover, and set my smoker where it's just gonna gently waft towards there. You open up the top cover, go away from you. I'm a little surprised the bees are still actually have some sugar left from when we fed them a couple weeks ago. Take a couple of these guys off. That right there is a hive beetle. And you crush those guys anytime you see them. Pulling that box off to the side, since that's not going to be going back on today, I think there's probably plenty of food out here. Next step, we're going to work on the inner cover. So it is starting to get glued down, so use your hive tool. Just gently pry. Any hive beetles, smush them. Lift. All right, that finally popped loose. So I want my smoker handy here. Just gonna kind of give it a gentle little smoking. There we go. All the smoke does is kind of disrupt the pheromones that they give out, so hopefully they won't be alerted and they'll be a little calmer. So we ended up breaking off a little bit of brood here. Looks like they were building on top of the frame. So what I want to do with this soft wax now, I just want to get rid of it actually. So I kind of feel bad because there's definitely some larvae in there. I'll bring it in close. So we got some larvae right there, but that was not a good spot for that to be built. So I'll just set that next to the hive. It looks like a little bit of honey there too. Our first step that we want to do is we're going to remove an outer frame just to give us a little room here to work. So in order to do that, you take your J hook, go there, start lifting. The other side, do the same. Because the frame's empty, it's going to be pretty light, but there are some bees on it starting to draw a little bit. Got a lot of hive beetles. So anytime I see them, I smush them since they are a pest in these hives. So hopefully once the bees get a few more numbers, they'll be able to control them a little better themselves. But that frame's pretty empty. Now we're just going to start working our way over through the hive. So I'm just going to pop a frame loose. Just kind of take a little peek. They're starting to dry out some on this frame a little bit. Perfect. Just keep sliding over. Now that we're getting into the nitty-gritty, they've glued them together a little better. So we want to be careful when we're picking up the frames. So we pick them up at the edge And when we pick them up, you want to slide your fingers under the ends. You don't want to just grab because you might crush them. You can see some fresh grown comb getting started there. I'll flip this. Got lots of comb. That bright orange in the middle is a bunch of pollen. They're busy here. Okay, let's set this guy back in. This frame looks like it's going to be pretty heavy. So we just want to be careful. Lift it up, slide your fingers under. We'll take a look. These cells have eggs in them, and there'll be larvae that'll grow and get a little bigger. Then they'll cap them off, like that side. So towards the edge of the frame where the lighter colored wax is, that's honey that's been capped. In the middle is brood, but it's looking good. It's a happy hive right here. Keep working our way across. Lots of cap brood. That's good. Looking great. Little honey on the edges. Same thing on this side. You can see a couple little larvae in there, but it's looking pretty good. Here they're getting a little agitated, so I'm gonna just pump a little smoke in the air. It's a hot one out here today. That's a lot of cap brood right there. Looking good. This is a beautiful thing. Frames are starting to get good and heavy. See if I can pry that one loose. They're packing these full of pollen. They definitely need some more space. I think we're starting to get into the center of the hive here where most of the action is going towards the edge here. I'm guessing if I do spot the queen, she's going to be on this frame or the next frame. More brood. I don't see her, but I'm not very good at spotting her. Let's see. All these frames look really good right now. So I don't know if you can see, but on the camera, you might be able to see the propolis. That's what they're putting in between the frames. That's sticking it all together. The bees eventually will glue almost everything together. Okay. Looking pretty good here. All right, so at this point, I'm gonna start sliding everything back together. Just leave a little bit of a gap in between. The bees will fill that gap. I don't wanna smush anybody. Excuse me, guys. I think I'm gonna move one frame up to the top. So I'll pull a blank frame out. I think I'm gonna move this guy up to the next level to hopefully entice these guys to keep on moving. That's got a little too much cap brood for me to move it up. we'll go with this frame. I'm just gonna move this up a box to entice the bees to get up and start working that second box. Now we'll just close the rest of this down. Get the last 2 frames in. Throw this guy on top. And we're gonna move the inner cover. Excuse me, sir. I mean, ma'am. Move your butt. Move your little bee butt. Thank you. We're actually gonna move their sugar. The sugar's stuck. So what I'm gonna have to do is use the medium box again, just as a way to keep that above, so that the feeder, so the sugar doesn't get stuck. This next guy, outer cover is on. And we're just gonna leave the entrance reducer the way it is until all that brood hatches and hopefully the colony is a little bigger to defend itself. Well, fellow growers, thanks for coming out today to Tail Wagging Farms to come with me on this hive inspection. Hope I don't look too sweaty. It's hot out here, and this bee suit, even though it's an ultra breeze, still gets pretty toasty in the sun. So, if you liked what you saw today, please give us a like and subscribe. Throw us down in the comments any questions you have, and hope to see you again soon, and happy growing.